Welcome back to the episode of Unranked Podcast. Coming to you all. Michigan was obviously off on a bye. Our Detroit Lions, they had a awesome, amazing victory, but unfortunately it was a little bittersweet just due to us losing, really the best pass rusher in the NFL at this point in time. So we'll go ahead and just kind of dive in and kick off with Illinois and then, our matchup against Illinois this week, and then dive in with the Cowboys and talk about the Vikings matchup this weekend. But I'll go ahead and kick it over to you. Just want to see your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, overall, the game was, immaculate from start to finish. This is largely what I would like that they hoped and have as far as a game plan. Heavy in the run game, and outside of that, they are just kind of executing on all cylinders. Their play action well, getting JMO involved. Laporta on a trick play for a big time touchdown. Everything just looks fun. They look energized, and it all kind of starts with that run game. Two of the best backs in the NFL. Definitely Montgomery. It's easy to say that. He's a workhorse, and I think as much as we have been on him in the past, and as much as we try to trade him the whole entire first year we had him, I would say Jared Goff does seem to have a mastery of this offense, and obviously he had a few very shaky games early in this year, but coming off the 18 for 18 game, and then this game where I think he damn near had a perfect passer rating, it's good just to watch him kind of orchestrate it all, and then defense flying around, making plays, interceptions, a couple of interceptions in the end zone, fumble recoveries. We are defense kind of flying around. A lot of good young players in there, a lot of good young juice. You just kind of see them come alive and kind of play off each other. I think whether they say it or not, Kirby Joseph and Branch probably have some type of bet on who's going to have the more picks this year. They're going one for one, just making plays, go out there, laying the wood. If you're Branch, he just comes up, cleans it up, kind of the Army Swiss knife of it all. And then just to kind of mention, obviously, the elephant in the room, and that's losing Hutch, which is devastating. We said before we hopped on, we've watched Hutch play since he set foot on Michigan campus. So going back, 7, 8 years. Obviously, he's a Michigan kid, went to Michigan, so a Michigan man, and then for him to get drafted by our Lions, you hate to see that happen to any player, but you especially hate to see it happen to a guy that, I mean, I'm not even playing. I've probably watched 95% of every snap he's had since he
Yeah,
played since high school.
for sure.
So, that's just tough, and I hope they can go in there and do it right. He's obviously early enough in the year where he's not going to hopefully affect next season, but I hope that surgery goes well, plate, screws, whatever they put in there. Hopefully, all that's clean and it goes smoothly for him, and just hopefully a quick recovery, and then we can have him back out there. He wants to. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the one thing I'll say is I hope losing, arguably, like you said before we hopped on, potential defensive player of the year, leading the league in sacks right now, on pace for like 24 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
I hope removing that doesn't take too much air out of the sails of the defense, and the secondary can still hold up. The rest of the D line can still wreak havoc. And obviously we're gonna miss his production, miss him being out there, but I hope it's not it doesn't have a major ripple effect into everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you hit it right on the head, man. It was just a treat to watch what we kind of watched unfold. Um, I mean, yeah, just flat out embarrassed them, like on Jerry Jones' birthday.
Yeah, twice as
So
much.
I think, yeah, so that was just like I just keep seeing clips online, just him just looking like distraught, and they have the score 47-9, just like kind of like flashing up on the screen, like right below him. They tried to, I think like the AT&T Stadium Instagram page, like posted like like kind of like a zoomed out shot of like the crowd, and they blurred out the score.
That's funny.
So it's just, I don't know. It was just great to like, because I just feel like Alliance fans, we've been on the other side of that for so much. Like, just kind of getting embarrassed in like our own, in our own place, and, teams kind of falling apart, just don't look great. And I think it's just kind of like, I just keep telling you, like, I mean, we're just like we're the bully now, and it's just a great feeling. Like we're setting the tone. Like that first drive, 35-yard gain to Tim Patrick, like just throwing haymakers, and like it just does like they just could not hang. Obviously, they're a little banged up, but there's some guys back there, like all pro guys like Trevon Diggs that was doing a lot of chasing. Or, one of our other Michigan favorites, Jordan Lewis, doing a lot of chasing, so it's just great that we were just clicking on all cylinders. Guys are just open, lanes was just running lanes is open. We got uh seventh man, like our skipper running slant routes. We got Panay Sewell catching, bubble routes, trying to score. Like I'm glad that part of me was like, man, I hope this don't what happened last year just don't like kind of fester and like, we mess around and lose this game because everybody's so focused on that. But I'm glad they were able to take that and not and all week saying it's just a game, just a game, just a regular game. And it obviously was not just a regular game for them. I mean, Ben Johnson, he was like in his bag. Like, they were motivated to go down there and just embarrass them. And I'm so glad they did. Um, yeah, and obviously, like you said, Hutch, that was just like really spent most of Sunday night even trying to like, acknowledge it, didn't really want to see it. I did hear that surgery went well and everything, and they got a big old rod like in his tibia. And a lot of, I don't know, this is obvious too. It's always better. A break is always better than a ligament tear.
Mhm.
So, he'll be, we saw Zinner, I think, had a similar injury and he was pretty much walking in like a month, so he'll be able to have a full off season and get after it. Some are saying when we go to the Super Bowl, he might be able to come and play, on some like TO type
Yeah,
shit.
that'd be
But
crazy.
but yeah, I just hope from here, man, like this is where Jared Goff got to earn that check. Got to play seamless, flawless football. We really went from being like dominant in my eyes to kind of being back how we were last year. We were just kind of like in a lot of one score games. I think that's what it's going to kind of be, from here on out, unless we get a little more help on the edge. And I just think this is where Goff, like we just need perfect football. We need you to score on every drive and not turn the ball over and keep our defense out of harm's way as much as possible until we can find some help.
I think that's a good point about golf and the team itself, just playing seamless football. Coaches making the right decision, getting those field goals when we should.
Yeah.
Walking the line on the fourth downs, we can do it enough, but also not being foolish. And I think all that. Ben Johnson making the right play calls. I think we got to continue to rely on that run game. I think we have like 180 something rush yards. That
Yeah.
that's something we can replicate week in and week out and just keep that boot on the neck of every team. That's gonna be hard for teams to stop. And then with that, we
Hmm.
can kind of unfold the rest of our cards. Because Ben Johnson is kind of a magician back there, as far as the plays he can cook up. But I think all of that starts with just that run game. And then you brought up they look motivated, and I would say that's something good players and good teams find a way to do is they like make up kind of
Manufacture
competition. They manufacture
bulletin board material
hate
and
about
just
themselves, they
find ways.
or turn people into the biggest rivalries for whatever. They cheated us last year. They did this, they did that. The
They're
Vikings
gonna
are
perp
5 and
stalk them.
0, talking about they're the best team in the division. They don't, we you just have to
Yeah.
make up something week to week to week. And kind of keep you in the driver's seat versus being, that keeps you proactive instead of reactive. Because you don't want to sit back and teams are think we got to go ahead and chip the Lions off. We gotta go get them. We gotta always have that kind of mentality we would have had last year, where it's our back against the wall and nobody believes in us. I think that's going to help this team move forward, and I do think we have kind of that culture about us. And it's weird because never really in Lions football have we had like a seems like a real culture like this. I think we had
Hmm.
Jim Schwartz. We had some good solid years. We definitely knew we had the best D line in the NFL. I
Yeah.
think Caldwell put together some solid years. One of the better offenses in the league. So we've had moments, but I think as a collective, this is definitely the best we unified team that we've had, and I
Yeah.
think just continue to rely on that. And I'm looking forward to our first divisional matchup. Just kind of Vikings came out of nowhere. Obviously we got Caleb Williams. they look hot and cold, but they're seeming to turn it on a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously we know what Jordan Love and Green Bay are capable of. So I think, I think heading this week, I don't know how you feel about it, but I do think it's one of those games that it's not a must win, but it's something
You want to
you
go
really
get
want.
yeah.
You really want to start that division off right for that repeat of the division title. But kind of what are your thoughts on Sam Darnold and company, and kind of what we can expect.
Yeah, no, I think um
I should say your boy Sam Darnold and company. No,
oh Sam he got a couple extra chances. He's got more
yeah.
chances than the average bus QB. He found he figured it out.
Hey, yeah, it's working now.
Yeah, I mean but yeah, it usually works out when you got the best receiver in the league, probably one of the best defenses in the league, one of the best running backs in the league, a lot of weapons around you. I think he's just kind of found that fit. Really just had to get out of New York. What it kind of what it looked like. They still ain't figured nothing out. But yeah, no, I think looking forward to it. I think, these divisional matchups are always fun because the teams know each other like the back of their hand. And I think I do feel like this is a good like measuring stick game for like them as it is for like us, like to where I feel like we've seen a little bit of tougher competition than they have out the gate. Um, so I'll just be, it'll be curious to see how things kind of turn out with this game because I feel, obviously we lost, a great player in our defense, but whatever Dan Campbell's selling, like the team is buying it. And I can't,
Yeah.
they haven't like whenever they've let us down, it just like they come off next week and really just like you don't even hear about it again after that. And I just feel like he's gonna have them so motivated, probably telling them everybody's writing us off because Hutch is gone. They don't think we're still the top dog in this division. Pretty much saying everything kind of necessary to say to just get them motivated to go up there and get a victory. Um, I do just feel like our offense, like a lot better than some of the offenses they've seen. I mean, they've seen like the Giants first game. They saw the Niners when they had like all of like McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, like all these guys were like out. And I just feel like the way we're humming on offense, like with golf is looking like in full and total control, like I think we're gonna be like we're gonna pick up where we left off last. But I think we're like now like we're picking up steam and like turning into the team that we're supposed to be. I think just nobody playing in preseason or anything at all. Preseason is now week 1 and 2, and I think we hitting our stride. In a really really tough stretch where we got 3 out of the next 4 games are on the road. So I think this is an opportunity, big opportunity. I think it's one that we need to go get for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. We always talk about the quarters, and I think just we stacked one win, great win versus Dallas. It's time to stack another one. And this one means twice as much because it's a divisional game. And I agree with you as far as just looking up whatever Aaron Glenn is selling the squad. Ben Johnson, they got this thing rolling, and I would like to think that nobody's bigger than the program, and I'm talking about Hutch in particular. Obviously, we want him back, but I
Yeah.
think we can go see what we have versus a team that looks pretty solid. Like you said, they haven't played that many people. I think we've definitely had a tougher schedule throughout the first um, handful of games here, but it,
Mm-hmm.
I think what they probably got the Texans is probably their toughest so far. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I think it's kind of pedestrian. So I think we've been a little more battle tested, and Sam Darnold, I think we can confuse him enough to get a ball or two out of there. We can interceptions week in and week out. Got two versus Dak last week. I think we can get the ball from him a time or two. Give our offense an extra possession or so, get some points out of that. I think it would be interesting to see what we do against Justin Jefferson. It's can we with Hutch being gone, the quarterback might have a half a second longer, a second longer here and there. Is that
Yeah.
defense break down that with that much slight more amount of time, or are we standing strong? Carlton Davis, I imagine he's going to play a lot, but we don't seem to chase receivers. I think we seem to say we can play whoever straight up. So I think he's
Yeah.
going to have some chances against Terry and Arnold. He's going to have some chances probably against Branch or Joseph down the field. So I think we just have to make those plays on him, and obviously Hawkinson probably wants to have a game versus. So I think, it's one of those, just come to play. They obviously got something cooking here. But I think we, like I said earlier, we're still in the driver's seat. We can control how this goes, but I think we have to not get in our own way. And that's just relying on that run game there. Rest of that offense to happen, and the defense just being pesty, getting that backfield steal. But I feel pretty good about it. It's hard to root against us now. It's hard to pick against us when we just seem to put the boot to people.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna be like paramount is like complementary football. Like offense, man, it's gonna be so critical for like Johnson not get too pass happy. Like I think I was texting you on Sunday. Like there's just so many times where it's just like Gibbs gets in there and he just starts kind of like licking his chops and just kind of trying to do stuff that I think is just kind of like off schedule. Like
Yeah,
obviously they got like a whole like but I just think from like they got a whole plan and how they kind of scheming stuff up. But I think sometimes it's like I think we just need like the hammer in there to be able to, like Montgomery, like bro, he's just like a mini Derrick Henry. Like people don't want no part of him either. Like he's just a little bit shorter, and I just think like you're just seeing it like where he is just like he goes as we go. I truly feel like the offense like runs through David Montgomery, and this is gonna be important to keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock running. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we start. I don't love doing this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start taking the ball first in the coin toss and just trying to go get points so we can just kind of put our defense in a situation where like trying to do what we can to make sure we're not chasing, knowing like what our defense might look like on Sunday. But I do feel like overall, like I said before we hopped on, um, you know, the secondary being a lot stronger than what it was last year. We'll probably get Mosley back, in the next few weeks as well, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so I just feel like with the guys we have out there right now, you talked about it, like Carlton Davis, Terry and Arnold, like we just look a lot better back there. So I hope that it can kind of average out to where we were, you know, pass rush was one side was great, run defense was great last year, but the secondary was, so bad. I just kind of hope that can maybe flip to where we can kind of just hold water or whatever you want to call it up until we can find somebody to manufacture more of a pass rush in the next couple weeks, hopefully.
yeah.
So
No, I second that. I think, just kind of see what we have. Maybe this week, kind of play the field, see who's available, see what deals you can make. I definitely think we should go get somebody.
yeah,
Because if somebody else, knock on wood, for us goes down, we are looking real scarce back there. So I think
yeah,
you got to kind of go get somebody formidable, somebody that is going to make a difference and makes people pay attention, and then just kind of go from there.
yeah,
You want to hop out with a score prediction?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll do over under 51. I think it's gonna be like a 30 to 24, 30 to 27. I think we just get out of there, skin of our teeth. I know we're gonna get their best, but I think like we just said, like I think we're gonna come with some fire and kind of play motivated to just do what we got to do for Hutch.
Yeah, not fair on that. I'm thinking like a 34-24. Like you said, it's kind of go out there. We show our little bit of a dominance. Kind of maybe got to put it together a drive mid fourth, kind of pull ahead and kind of like that. So
Right. Yeah. No, we want. Yeah, I think it's like I said, it's going to be. I'm trying not to hit the panic button too much. Obviously, we haven't seen what the product looks like without Hutch quite yet, but I just imagine we're going to be a lot more one score games than we anticipated this year. Kind of how it was last year. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do on Sunday, back in that 1 o'clock slot. That's that prime slot. We good now. They be having us Sunday night,
yeah,
Monday night, Thursday at
yeah,
4. Like
bouncing around a lot of that. Yeah,
they only played at 1 o'clock on Sunday, I think, like once so far this year is kind of crazy. But yeah, yeah, moving on. Michigan Wolverines. They're back in action this weekend. Back in action with who we was probably supposed to be the starter this entire season. Um, Jack Tuttle. We're on the Tuttle shuttle now, seeing what he can
so
do, seeing what he can do for us the rest of the season here. And yeah, no, we play in Illinois. I think it's their homecoming. I feel like a lot of Big Ten teams just make our homecoming like like their homecoming like
around
Michigan,
us.
the
Yeah,
road, yeah, like almost like the Super Bowl when Michigan comes into town. So you're going, obviously get a motivated team. I think they breaking out some new uniforms, all this other jazz. So yeah, what are your thoughts, man, on just what will look like getting to Illinois this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I guess I would say you were one of the only main people I know that are talking about Tuttle, and he seemed to come in and give us that juice off rip. And then after that, I don't know what it was. He just kind of lost his mind. So
He had
I
his
think
week one, week six.
yeah, 100%. I definitely think he made the biggest impact of as far as quarterbacking goes for us this year. Um, but what I think if if I have a perfect scenario for this, I would say he can come in and he's getting 85% of quarterback plays and can somehow get us around like 160 170 pass yards a game, couple touchdowns, limit the interceptions as much
Yeah.
as possible, and then obviously our run game can do what our run game can do. Hopefully we can still work in a package or two with Orgy or find a way to get him out there. I think he's athletic enough
Yeah.
that he should be able to make plays for us. Just let's find a way to get him the ball in whatever way and be smart about it. But I think that's kind of the biggest thing I have as fear on offense is just getting that rhythm, finding that out. It looks to be mostly quarterback issues. Um,
Yeah.
uh, and then on it's the opposite way for the defense. I think we have so many stud players spread throughout defense. We just look misorganized. Like
Yeah.
they're real red flags with the coaching schemes, real red flags with just kind of going back in time. Like he's never heard what our issues were from like 2016 to 2020. He just,
Hmm.
and we went right back to that. Just man across the board, getting burned by simple plays, just trip formation, weird things catching us off guard that you would get in trouble for at any level above Pop Warner. Just it's
Yeah.
it looks bad out there. So I hopefully we can figure that out because I think we always could rely on the defense so much. I think if our defense, let's say, came to play at Washington a little bit, we probably would have got that dub.
Yeah.
I think they let us down a couple of times when they normally wouldn't, and and we kind of just spun out because of that. We can hang our hat on that. Defense is going to make a play. They're going to get
Hmm.
this interception, run a little bit. We might only get a field goal out of it, but hey, that's how we're playing. And I think they came up short a few times, gave up some big third downs, gave up some points when they probably traditionally would get out of there without giving up points. So um, just defensively, I'm a little nervous. And then there's picking on Zeke Berry. It's a couple of real
Jair
red flags
Hill.
out there. So that's kind of my overall set kind of feeling situation is just a little chaotic overall. And I think a good win versus Illinois would stabilize some things. They're not a complete pushover like they have been in previous years. So,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I think, yeah, we played the exact opposite of complimentary football, against Washington. And we're just not in a situation where we can do that. I truly do feel like if Toto was healthy to start the season, probably, 5-1 at minimum. Maybe could have got that Texas game, but yeah, no, you hit it on the head. I mean, I think it was interesting how Toto got in there and the defenses, like the box for Washington, like it just got so much lighter because they just knew that there was somebody in there that could go through progressions and complete a pass down the
Mhm.
field. And I just imagine that's when, a lot of that's going to continue to happen. Give Mullins a lot of credit for just kind of running into nine-man boxes, 600 yards, 8, 9 touchdowns already out the gate. Him, Edwards, they're both going to be ecstatic to, have more of a consistent, like lighter box to run in. Receivers, they're kind of being told they're not great, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's
You
been
don't got much to work.
a yeah, so like, you'll hope to kind of see a couple of them step forward, make some plays. Like Marion Walker had a, great little catch to really explosive play in the air that we've had, the best one we've had all season, probably, besides like Loveland making plays. But when you hit on the head, it's the defense. Not just it kind of sucked because I'm thinking like you saw how well Jair Hill played against USC, you saw how well he played against Minnesota. insane interception, like, on the sideline. I'm looking like we finally got a QB2 for Will
Yeah,
Johnson. It took us 3 years to get a QB2 for Will Johnson, or a CB2 for Will Johnson. But like, yeah, previous game slipping. You feel like he was just a step behind, just looked confused. The entire defense looks confused. I think Zeke Berry gave up like 100 yards and like yak by himself. Bad angles. It just looked so crazy, and I was, just so like blown away with it. But I just feel like the quarterback situation will kind of like stabilize everything. Like we can stay on the field, maybe manufacture more offense like earlier on in the game, maybe hit some big plays, kind of like give them some juice, give them a lead to kind of like lean into. That's something they haven't really had, you know, like that, well, USC and like kind of like a way to kind of like rest. Like it's just
yeah,
been like, flash in the pan plays, kind of just finding ways to get points on offense, thanks to the defense in some cases. So I just feel like this is going to kind of settle everybody down, for this final stretch. And I do think like we should be able to, um, out physical Illinois. Obviously, they're a physical football team. They took us to the brink against a couple years back, but that, lost Blake Corum, kind of took the wind out of the sail overall.
yeah.
But I do feel like Tuttle and you, yeah, like will help. But you just gotta hope like that defense had like a come to Jesus moment where it was like Wink gotta look himself in the face. Like this is on the coaches, in my
Not
opinion.
working. Yeah,
Guys just not in position, bad angles, like looking over the wrong shoulder for like, kind of like whenever a pass is coming to him in the red zone, like just looked confused, like you said. So um hoping that they take a step forward, a couple steps forward. If they take a couple steps forward, I think the offense is going to take a surmountable amount of steps forward. Um, and I think that'll help us, just kind of be a lot more competitive than we have been the first half of the season.
yeah. I hate to ask this question, but it kind of just popped in my head.
Uh-oh.
We've been playing kind of musical chairs at quarterback. And so let's say total comes out first half, 2 picks, you know, something like that. Can you pull it? Like, can you read? Can you regurgitate the quarterbacks? Like, can you?
I
I don't
think,
know. I don't know if you can, because you're already 3 deep. So I don't know. I don't. I'm not sure how.
yeah, I
You
think,
know, so yeah.
I think
Oh,
Davis. Right. I think I'm like, okay. I think I think I think Davis, all respect to him, I think he's gonna be done. Like I don't think we're really gonna see him anymore. So I think it's really a situation now where it's gonna be Tuttle and Orgy till the wheels fall off. I think it was gonna be that if Tuttle would have been healthy. I think like gotta kind of just ride with it. I mean, he's really the only one that has experience. And the unfortunate thing is like he just has 7 years experience as like a backup. So like he's kind of already stepping into a new role, to an
yeah.
extent, kind of behind schedule. Like it wasn't throwing until last 2 weeks ago. So I think you do just got to stick with it. I do think it's gonna look like it's gonna be kind of crazy how much better it looks. And I hope I'm just not blowing smoke and they come out and just like shit the bed. But I
No, no,
do
no.
feel
I hope you're right, and I think there's a great chance that it does. I think
yeah.
even
Just from a run game, like we're gonna just be able to run the ball. We was already doing that fine. It's just gonna be like
yeah, like you said,
better.
loosen up that box a little bit.
Yeah, like they gotta like
You got to
commit to
respect it to
guys on the
some degree.
outside.
Yeah,
Loveland's back healthy. He's been out there with one arm. Like you could just see it. Like he'll come out there and catch a pass and be like
yeah,
one
just
arm be
trot
just
off.
kind of jogging
Yeah,
back to the field. So, Will Johnson's like banged up. Like we also had like 11 guys like not play
I know.
against Washington too. So you gotta hope.
Big hitting, big tackling.
Yeah,
We had people spread out, and
yeah,
I don't think I realized that before we recorded that podcast that like I don't know if it wasn't released yet or not.
yeah.
But I didn't
Because
realize there
they
was so
don't
much.
like
Yeah,
they don't have to give out an injury report, which kind of is crazy. I get it, but like, yeah, they just tossed that out like a week, like an hour before game time, and I'm like, oh, like none of these guys are playing. Like no indicator of it all week, so it was kind of crazy.
right. No, but I guess how you feeling about going down on the road, Illinois? Potential homecoming game. So
Yeah,
kind of what are your what are your thoughts on final score?
yeah. I think I think it's gonna be like 24-17. I think this is gonna be like a uh like just fighting the phone booth, be physical. Like they run the ball like we do, kind of play in a phone booth like we do. But I think we should be able to like just kind of strong arm them like with like better quarterback play and just kind of like we got guys number one, first round guys all over the defense, and I think they're gonna be a little motivated. They heard about how bad they had looked the last couple of weeks. I think they're gonna have a nice little bounce back game, and I do see that run game, and I see the pass game taking off. It's not much, and wasn't much there, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a good like balanced attack this week.
For sure. Even I mean, we hit 200 at passing. It's we can pop out.
Right, what about like 20? Like I'm
Yeah. No, so I agree. I pretty similar. I think I'm a little more hard on offense overall, but I think it's going to be kind of a nasty game. I think they played Penn State, lost 21-7. Like you said, Purdue took them to the brink, like a 50-point game. I don't think it's going to be in that realm. So I think it'd be closer to that Penn State score, somewhere in that ballpark. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say like 23-17.
okay.
20, maybe 2017. Something right nasty kind of out there, but escape with a victory. And kind of live to tell the tale. So
Ooh. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good weekend. I think it's gonna be a good bounce back spot for us. I think they play like 3:30 Saturday. Um, I'm feeling, pretty good about this game. And like I said, I think sometimes you sit down for a couple weeks and you kind of hear about how bad you've been, how you haven't looked great. I feel like Tuttle is gonna kind of lead the charge. I think everybody will get on the Tuttle shuttle and we're gonna finish out this season. Saying not gonna finish out like 5-1.
yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Beat the right people. I'll be real happy about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Hell,
for
B
sure.
State at this point beat MSU. That's really okay. If you gonna lose anybody else, you just
No,
cannot lose
I can't.
MSU.
I won't be able to take
You
it.
were gonna Lansing for like months.
Yeah. No, you know, no,
Right.
you got anything else?
Oh, that's all I got. Be
Yes,
back
sir.
with y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Peace.